And now I'd like to invite up our prayer chaplain for the day, Jorge, to light the Christ candle and read the daily word.
I light the Christ candle to remind us of the light within each of us. It is the power by which we live, move, and have our being. Sunday, December 30. Power. I am a spiritual being bestowed with great power. In this moment, I affirm there is only one power and one presence active in my life, God the Good. The power that flows from the one source pours into all things. As an expression of God, I claim my spiritual superpower. My power resides in my ability to choose. In all situations, I choose to be victorious. No thoughts, situations, or circumstances can hold me back. I am strong than any doubt from within or any judgment from without. I have the power to conquer any self-limiting thoughts that might otherwise hold me back. I align my thoughts with my highest good, envisioning health, abundance, love, and success. I affirm I am love, I am peace, I am pure strength, I am a spiritual being bestowed with great power. And from St. Luke 9:2, he sent them out to proclaim the kingdom of God and to heal.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever.
And as each one of us is lost in sweet, gentle memories, there is a beautiful thing in our life, and it is called our spiritual journey. There is no wrong or right to it. There just is. So today I invite you to step on that path wherever you are in this very present moment. And I invite you to open up your God eyes and to look around and see what you can see. Today, are you opening and seeing a new beginning, a new path? Or are you holding on to yesterday? Which way today will you go? Will you go with me and look in the far, far distance? And with God's eyes, will you see the most beautiful, bright, shining star? It is not the star of Bethlehem. Will you see with me the star of grace, beauty, wisdom? And will you look further into that star? And will you see with me a radiant soul? A soul that is the purest love, a love that is so strong. In our human form, it is almost impossible to feel. But go with me there. Go to that star. Let the rays reach out and bathe you in that love. Allow your heart to open and accept. Feel the joy. See perfectly beautiful eyes shining at you, with you, through you. And know with me that you indeed have been touched right here, right now, by an angel. And as you very slowly, very gently, in your own time, come back to this place and this space, this holy sacred ground. Know that any time, in any situation, you can go back to that star. Be blessed and be at peace. It's interesting. Last week we were talking about that life can change on a dime. And we've certainly seen that this week. And as we think about going forward, we think, how can one day, how can the 31st be last year and the 1st be this year? And how can that one day make a difference? How do we just all of a sudden have new beginnings? It's a very good question. And I read somewhere this week that an acorn has no choice. It has to be an oak tree. And a rose has no other choice but to be a rose. And the moon and the sun, they have no choice either. They are what they are. But what we forget so often is that we do have a choice. You know, and we say that, and it needs not to be a cliche, a new thought, change your thinking, change your life. We're at choice at all times. Yeah, that all sounds good. But until that becomes an embodiment of who and what we are, it is just a cliche, just a phrase, a new thought. We have to take this thought because it's not new. It's from the beginning of time, and we have to take it deeper into our embodiment. And what I've learned in the past year of my life is you can only let go and be at peace with a situation in challenge if you're willing to release. So here's what I mean about that. If you're angry and you walk away in anger and you say, I'm done, I want nothing more to do with you, trust me, you're not done. Because you're carrying anger with you. You're carrying the situation with you. You're carrying all the baggage of it with you. But when you can accept a situation and come to know it, that it no longer serves you, and you truly understand that this no longer serves me, it does me absolutely no good, then you have to bless things. And when you bless them, to bless, to infer onto, when you bless and you wish only good, love, and happiness, when you can let go of all malice, all intent of revenge, when you can do that and take a breath and walk away, then that is the beginning of release. To release and let go, and I wish this was my statement, but I actually read it this week, and it's been profound for me. To release and let go is to allow the freedom from emotional and mental slavery. And when I read that this week, I went, oh my God, emotional and mental slavery. And who holds us there? The other guy? The other situation? Your mother, your father, your boss? Who holds us in that slavery? We do. You know, we can tell our stories over and over and over again. And if we keep telling our story about this tree, and we will never accept that we're not a part of that tree, that that's a tree and we're here, that's an object, but I'm a person. And when we can let go of the glue that's holding us together and have our own story and admit our own story to ourselves, what is our own story? What is it that we are clinging to? What hurts so bad that we have to dump it here and we have to dump it there and make it that fault, that committee's fault, my boss's fault, the government's fault? No, it's not. It's not a fault. It is what is until it isn't. And we have to make the decision then for when it isn't. Hear me. It is what it is until it isn't. When will we let it go? We're the ones that keep ourselves in bondage. We're the ones that hold us so tight. So many of you say then, well, but I try and it won't go away. How many times have you felt that? But I am willing to let it go. But it's still there and I don't know what to do, right? And the reason for this is because your heart is still at war. We have warrior hearts. And when we can learn that there's a war going on in our own heart, that is when we'll be able to let go. So it's imperative to resolve the conflict of heart. It's imperative that we see each other as people with the same story with different characters. I could ask right now, who's had this happen in their life, and your hands will go up. And I can ask who's had this happen in their life, and hands will go up. We are all characters in this. But what we do is we try to justify our misery or our anger, and when we justify it, then we can hold on to it because I'm right. But when you can say, I believe I'm right in this situation, but my heart is not at war with this situation, then you don't need justification. That's the beginning of letting go and letting God. And so we have to understand that there's something internal going on inside of us. And until we work with that, we're going to constantly be working it out with other people, justified or not, but we don't want to go there. So the key then is acceptance of yourself. I, Aubree-Lynn, your minister, am not perfect. Oh, by the way, did any of you notice that yet? Okay, I'm not perfect, but I'm doing the best I can. And when I'm finally starting to work through this in the past month of acceptance of me and acceptance of all of you that are here and not here, when you begin to understand this is my stuff. It wasn't that committee stuff. It wasn't that person's stuff. It's my stuff. And when I own my stuff, there is something that opens up so great and so pure within us that all you want to do is hug people. All you want to do is hug people. You know, the past 3 days being in the hospital with Ariana, for those of you that were in and out through that with me, there was so much love. There were people in that room that weren't talking to me, that were hugging me and loving me, and I was hugging them and loving them. There was people sharing beautiful stories. There was so much goodness. And all I could think of, this woman is blessing us. She is teaching each one of us what and who we should be. Remember, I said she's never said a word against anyone in this congregation or in her spiritual family. Her family. You know, some of us are sitting in judgment and saying, well, why wasn't her family there more? Why weren't they at her bedside? Why? And it's like, wait a minute. They're doing the best they can because that's all they know how to do. But Ariana, when I would talk to her about her sons, they're loving, they're just busy. She didn't even talk bad about her family, who we think wasn't there supporting her. Look at the lessons that we have to learn. The lessons. We have a gift. And Ann Landers says that some people are holding on and hanging on, and they think it's a great sign of strength. I'm holding on, and what happens when you're holding on and won't let go? White knuckles. But it takes much more strength to say, this is who I am. Accept me. See me as a person. I see you as a person. I see you as a whole and perfect person. Then what happens? We're open. So it is time that we all opened our arms to our families. And it doesn't mean that it's going to work. It doesn't mean that a family that you're not talking to, one member of your family, that you're going to call them and they're going to say, oh, great, this is wonderful. That's not what it means. It means you're not at war with them. You bless their lives. You wish them only health and happiness. The neighbor that you haven't been talking to them, you bless them as you go by their house. You wish them only well and happiness. This is when your heart space opens. This is when your heart goes from warring to peace. And when we do that, and when we spread that, and we become those beacons of light out there, it has to begin the domino effect. It has to, because that's the way it is. If you truly want to learn to fly and open your wings and be a part of something bigger than you ever thought possible, you have to give up what's weighing you down. What is it? You know, I've been almost 20 years a minister, and in all my time of counseling and doing prayer work, I would say, oh, so Jackie, did you ever strangle a dog and kick it out in the street? And Jackie goes, of course not. And Tom, did you kick an old lady? And Tom goes, what are you, crazy? Of course not. Okay. And Kirk, did you ever kill somebody? You know, did you ever torture an old lady? Everybody looks like I'm nuts. But that's my point. What have you done that is so horrible? If God holds nothing against you, what are you holding against you? All right, so you don't talk to somebody, or you stole candy out of the candy store when you were 12. Okay, you're forgiven. But do you see, I know it's silly examples, but does it make sense to you what I'm saying? What did you do? I don't care if you had an affair. So what? Love is love. Let it go. Forgive yourself. Forgive whomever. You know, don't hate forever. I've been divorced for 40-something years, and my ex-husband and I are best friends because we chose that when we got divorced. We didn't rip each other off. You know, I've been on dates when men have said to me, I wished you would have divorced me. Because we didn't go through that. We didn't try to wipe each other out. We had 2 houses. I took one, he took the other. We're friends. He's 87 years old. He called me in the hospital yesterday to see how Ariana was. Do you see what I mean? What kind of connections you can have? You know, when people hear that people are having Christmas dinner with their ex-wife and their ex-husband, they go, what, are you crazy? No, they're perfect. They're perfect. Do you see what I'm saying? So I've been talking about relationships and situations, but what about you yourself? When are you going to give yourself a break? You say, you know, I'm not smart enough, I'm not thin enough, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not rich enough, you know, I'm dumb, I'm stupid, I'm not graceful. We do all of this stuff to ourselves. Time to stop. God bless you, my love. Time to stop. Here's how I stopped it for other people. So just say Brenda says to me, you know, I am so dumb, and I go, don't you dare talk about my friend that way. Do you see? We can bring that to people's attention. Every time when my father was getting ill and dementia was getting bad, and he would get all angry, and I go, don't you talk about my father that way. See, we can start to let people know, don't talk about yourself that way. You're not those things. You're pure love. You are nothing but pure love. And allow yourself to that. See, once you realize that you deserve a bright future. How many in here deserve a bright future? How many? Right, we all do. Letting go of your so-called dark past is the best choice you'll ever make. And we're going to do that today. We're going to let go, and then we're going to create a whole new story for ourselves. And we're going to do that very soon. But, so, I think today that everything is apropos. The beginning of a life that's on a new journey, our dear Ariana's life on a new journey. I'm a little jealous. I want to know what that's like. I do, like, nobody's come back to tell us. But I have in my own mind, this isn't Unity or New Thought or anything, it's Aubree, but I have in my mind that the split second that the heart stops beating, that the soul is immediately back with Creator, and it's the purest, most gorgeous love in the whole world, and that it immediately just takes everything that you've carried and it releases it to the heavens wherever they may be. And to be on that journey, oh my God, oh my God. But while we're still here, can we start imagining life like that? Can we start believing in ourselves that we're okay just the way we are? We are. We are. I love each and every one of you with heart and soul, because I have learned in my spiritual growth of the past 7 months to see people as people, to understand, to see people as people, not objects, not a situation, not a crisis, not drama, but people. There are people, loving people. There are people everywhere. So this is the challenge for me and for all of you as we go forward. So will the ushers please hand out the, what we're going to do first. I would like to ask Reverend Myra if she would come up and do a prayer for releasing. And then after the prayer, there's a little piece of tracing paper in your envelope that you're getting. And would you really give it thought and say, what is it that I can release and let go of today? But before you do that, set the intention to do that. Really set it. And when you come up to the burning bowl to let go of that when you're ready, silent to yourself, say, this is truly, truly my intention. Don't just quickly write something. Write something from your heart and soul that you want to let go of today. And then we're going to write a new beginning for that. Okay? So will the ushers please come forward, and will Reverend Myra please come forward. Just a prayer of letting go.